Iowa State head coach Kevin Drexler was a two-time state champion for Humboldt High School before capturing a national title for Dan Gable and the Hawkeyes in 1986. Today, Coach Drexler returns to his alma mater. From inside Humboldt High School in Humboldt, Iowa, the home of the Wildcats, it's a Big 12 matchup as the Cyclones square off against the Bison of North Dakota State. Hello and welcome to FloWrestling on this Sunday afternoon alongside national champion wrestler and coach Jim Gibbons. I'm Shane Sparks, back here in Humboldt High School. Coach Kevin Drexler back at his old stomping grounds.
Yeah, it's really cool that Kevin Drexler does this here. Comes back to his high school and his alma mater here, but they're actually having the Humboldt Hall of Fame at the same time here. But you know, to get the ambiance of being here, we can smell that concession stand, the popcorn. We're going to have to do a concession stand review here as far as the food out there. I'm getting a little hungry myself.
We'll have to check out the hot dogs for sure.
You bet. We're doing a little rating here system. But, you know, excited to be here. You know, and Iowa State comes in here a little bit banged up, you know, but North Dakota State here, they got a competitive team here. It should be a fun meet to watch.
157 pounds for Iowa State. One of the key storylines in this dual meet, the return of Cody Chittum.
Yeah, Cody Chittum has been through the concussion protocol for a couple months, and now he's back in the lineup right now. So, you know, when that happens, you know, you got a guy that's really excited to be out there. We should see a lot of action out of him, and going to probably see quite a few backups here tonight here for Iowa State. But should be a good day watching some good wrestling.
The Cyclones and the Bison up next here on FloWrestling. Introductions here inside Humboldt High School. The Cyclones and the Bison in their Big 12 openers. North Dakota State comes in 0-3. They've lost to Virginia, Oregon State, and most recently Minnesota. And for Iowa State, the Cyclones a record of 1-2. They fell to Stanford. They beat Navy. And they fell inside Carver Hawkeye Arena to the Iowa Hawkeyes, coming off the Cliff Keen Invitational in Vegas last week. You said it in the open, Jim, banged up a little bit of a sickness within the program, but it's next man up. It's an opportunity for the next person.
I think that's a great way to put it here, because you have Iowa State's got a really deep team. They've got 45 guys on their roster right now, and they got a lot of you know, opportunities for guys coming in, particularly in these lightweights. We're going to see quite a bit of a change up here from the lineup that we saw in Vegas, so it's a great opportunity for some of these young guys to get some bouts in for probably not just this meet, but just into next month.
Duel begins at 125 pounds with Ethan Perryman for the Cyclones and Tristan Doherty for the Bison of North Dakota State. They've been doing this dual meet for several years with Kevin Drexler coming back to Humboldt.
Yeah, it's a great thing, you know. The angle you see right now isn't of the this isn't the bleacher height extends way up like you'd see in a traditional high school gym, and you know, Humboldt town. I can't remember exactly what the size of it is, but you know, county seat town is probably about 5,000 people, and it's got a big thing for them. And this community has not only supported the Cyclones here, but they've been a big support. They have some golf outings and things like that throughout the course of the year. So a lot of financial support into the RTC that they have, and all that comes from this area. So a lot of guys that are been tied to Kevin Drexler for a long time, or supporting the program, and he rewards that with bringing the Cyclones up here.
Ethan Perryman, a redshirt sophomore from Temecula, California, won a state title at Temecula Valley at 120 in 2022. Obi Blanc in his second year at North Dakota State as the head coach.
Yeah, great opportunity for Obi. He was an assistant coach there for Roger Kish and ended up taking over the program when Roger moved on to the University of Oklahoma, and starting to see some of the product that he wants to put out there on the mat.
Carlos Mansell, our lead official, he's from South Carolina. Justin Thaw from Kansas working the outside. Perryman 11-3. This is the first dual meet of the season. Last Saturday, he won the Cleveland State Open. And for Doherty, in his 5th year, spent the previous 4 seasons at Buffalo. Comes in at 2-4.
Yeah, this is a weight class that we've seen quite a few Cyclones in. Kyson Terrakina was their guy last year through a good portion of the season here. We've seen Mesa, and he wrestled in a few of the early dual meets here. Now we're seeing Perryman, but all these guys, a lot of good competition at this weight class for Iowa State. And, you know, in a dual meet situation, and there's a little bit of a difference here with dual meet wrestling compared to wrestling in a tournament. You know, you get it's just all out there all of a sudden, 2-hour weigh-ins. You got to be able to respond right away, get out there and get on the attack. And if you're going to want to be the guy that, not only these guys competing for maybe the spot, but the way things are working out here, you know, big picture-wise with the NCAA, there's 30 roster spots that these teams have got to come down to here, and you're fighting for a spot on that roster.
Stall call. 1:56 remaining here in this first period. Doherty's best season was 2022 when he won 14 matches. He was 5th in the MAC, as I mentioned, at Buffalo before coming to Ames. Was 8th in the MAC as a true freshman back in 2021. Last couple seasons he's battled some injuries, has not competed much, and he's in a scoreless match with Ethan Perryman. You talked about Kyson Terrakini. They expect him back. He's a 3-time national qualifier. Remember last year, Terrakina, 14-3 major decision over Eric Barnett. Barnett, 3-time All-American, ended up taking 4th last March in Kansas City. Yeah, but the Cyclones showed up on that Sunday.
Yeah, they showed up, and you know, you go back and take a look at what happened in that season for Terrakina. He basically, that was his peak. You know, he just struggled the rest of the year, lost a lot of close matches, and it progressively got worse. And there's another stall warning on Perryman, so he gives up 1 point there. So
second stall call puts a point on the board for Doherty. Doherty 2-4 this season. He was 2-1 at the Bison Open, 2nd in his pool. And out of real estates, and there's going to be a stall call on Doherty. I really like how he's calling stalling in this first period.
I was just about ready to say that, Shane, is that, you know what? Because Doherty's been basically marching in with a couple of underhooks there, and he's being aggressive. Once he gets an advantage tie, he's taking territory, making Perryman look bad. In that particular situation, Perryman was able to wing around him a little bit and then got behind him, and then Doherty kind of, headed for the hills there, get off the mat.
Doherty working off that 2-on-1, now with the leg attack, as Perryman was looking to whip him over. Still no score, final 30 seconds in this first period, as a stalemate is whistled for Perryman in the month of November. At the Grandview Open, mid-November, he made the quarters. He was beat by Aiden Reeves of Grandview 10-8, and then by Kyle Gauhofer of UNI. Nice double leg, but better defense.
There's a straight-on freight train double. You don't see that very many times where the guy basically rolls and kicks you through. We had a guy that could do that at the 190-pound weight class, Eric Volker for Iowa State. If you hit him straight on, he was going to basically roll you through and elevate you through, actually go right to his back. He had no problem with that. So
good wrestling there on the edge in the final seconds of the first period. No score, some good action between these two with Perryman and Doherty to start this dual meet off. Shane Sparks alongside Jim Gibbons. here on FloWrestling. And it's a scoreless first period. Choice goes to the Cyclone, and Perryman will go on bottom. Perryman with his 3 losses all close. He's got a 1-point loss, a 2-point loss, and his 3-point loss was in sudden victory. Good roll there from Perryman, and that's a quick escape. Those quick escapes, Jim, inside of 10 seconds, gets the crowd into it.
Yeah, you're right, Shane. And we did that off the mat return. A lot of times when you pick a guy up, when you're getting picked up in that situation, bring your knees up with you, all right? And he basically, when he returned him in a tight, compact ball. He was able to go ahead and get the roll through with that with a nice Granby.
1-1. Keep in mind, Perryman's been hit for stalling twice. That's why Doherty has a tally on the board. And Doherty's been hit once himself. He's got hands locked.
And what Doherty does a pretty good job here. Once he gets an advantage tie, he basically marches forward with that. Now, if Perryman plays this right, he can get a little quick angle like he did before he went off the mat right there. Get a little quick angle and drive through on a shot.
Doherty from Bartonville, Illinois, Peoria Notre Dame High School. First state champion in school history. Goes right back to that underhook.
Excuse me, Shamy doing a great job of getting to his tie originally. You know, that was a 2-on-1 that time. Now he comes in on a shot. Perryman basically chases him off there. Whoa, yep. I agreed with all those stalling calls up to that point.
This might be the best officiated match I've seen from a stall call perspective.
Except for that last one. Basically, Perryman was the guy that took him off to the edge right there. Then he circled back out. Now Doherty basically, I might get my names mixed up here. Doherty did the pushing off there. Now Doherty is in a scoring situation off the edge of the mat.
He was behind Perryman, but Perryman able to sink in a whizzer in defense.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Shane. I'd rather see what's being expressed out there as far as the official goes. You take territory, you should be rewarded for that. And we don't need a step-out rule if you just go basically call good stalling.
So 2-1. The Cyclone with the advantage. 40 seconds to go here in this second period. Hard snap there from Doherty. Both guys now wrestling center of the mat. Doherty likes that 2-on-1. You talked about it, Jim. Good with the 2-on-1, his underhooks.
Yeah, once he gets a tie he likes, he'll start marching in. And if basically Perryman can clear that tie, he might be able to get to a shot. But now it looks like they've slowed down a little bit. There's a shot here by Perryman. Nice job by Doherty jumping back into a shot off that front headlock position here. Now he's elbow deep around that ankle.
Final seconds.
You know what?
Looking to get that ankle.
Oh boy, good job on the edge there by Doherty.
1 second left, Jimmy gets the takedown, great patience.
Yeah, great patience, nice job of pulling him back on, and then what happened was that Perryman brought his ankles together in that situation, able to dive in on that second leg.
Huge. You speak about it often, when you're on the edge, don't dart out because then you give up the ankles. You want to attack like you're in the middle.
Yeah, the only way you can get off the mat is basically by, I put it this way, basically counter like you're in the middle of the mat. Right there, Perryman looked like he was going to jump off the mat right there and got caught with it, gave up the second ankle.
Quick escape there from Doherty. He's up 5-2. Here's a shot from Perryman.
Whoa, right there. That was a close one.
Packed house here inside Humboldt High School. A lot of Cyclones.
Look at Perryman, he's been giving up those ties. This time he gives up the underhook there, and Doherty chasing it down, basically moving forward to the edge of the mat. And if he's not careful, he's going to give up another stall warning here, so that's really important action to be able to clear out of that, which he just did. But Doherty on the edge right there in a good position to be able to milk a little bit of clock here on the edge. Good stalemate call. Both these guys are a little bit winded right here. Now, Perryman has not had the dual experience here. Doherty has been the aggressor, I think, throughout most of the match.
Again, right off that whistle, he gets to that underhook. Looking to throw it behind the right side. We're down to 1:05 remaining. Perryman needs a takedown to tie it. Here's a shot.
Nice job by Doherty coming in there with that underhook one more time. That's his pacifier here. He wants that right-handed underhook. Goes to both underhooks. In a great position to push Perryman off the mat. If he does it, he'll get a stall call. But right now, he's in a good position to milk clock again one more time. There's the stall call.
You called it, Jim. Another point
Yes.
here for Doherty. And why that is big is because now a takedown will not tie it. Now you're down 6-2.
That's just the guy being smart and understanding how this match is being officiated here. Jumps right back into that underhook, taking territory again.
Snap there from Perryman.
Perryman really has to go in the center of the mat, and he's waiting to the edge right here. This gives Doherty the opportunity to slow it down. He'll look to circle back in.
Pinching that left elbow, and we're back to the center with 22 seconds. So at this stage of the game, Jim, if you are Perryman, you got to be thinking feet to back.
Right, feet to back or 2 takedowns really quickly. We'll see, but he's got to go forward. See, he's just in a tie right here that doesn't give him any. He almost got to work from space. Good job by Doherty, fighting him off.
Keeps that underhook on the right side.
And that's been a trouble spot for Perryman the whole bout here, giving up that underhook on the right side. And there it is one more time, right side underhook. Now into that Merkel position here, and that's it.
6-2 final score for Tristan Doherty. Improves to 3-4 on the season. This is 5th year of college wrestling. And the Bison take the early lead on the Cyclones 3-0. And with wrestling, Jim, you hear guys all the time, I got to get to my ties, I got to get to my offense. Doherty there was getting to his ties quickly, consistently.
Exactly right, Shane. And not only getting him to him, but he's basically taking territory with him. You know, and if I'm one of these guys that have been watching that match right there, yeah, I'm watching that match, I'm going, hey, you know, if I need stalling calls, I know I can go ahead and take territory, I'm going to get them. So you give up a takedown, stay active on your feet. You know, you can't back off the edge of the mat. That stalling's going to be called. And the referee has basically put everybody on edge. Now, it's always funny because you take a 10-minute break in between the first 5 matches, and you might have a totally different match once the referee mellows out with a, you know, cigarette break. You know?
133 pounds. Osmani Diveresnt, a freshman from La Habana, Cuba, 9-1 for the Cyclones. And Kyle Berwick in his 6th year for the Bison. Berwick, of course, beginning his career at Wisconsin, where he was a 2-time national qualifier in 2021 and 2022. Last season at Nebraska. Last 2 seasons for the Cornhuskers. Wrestled at the Big Tens in 2023. North Dakota native, 5-time North Dakota state champion Kyle Berwick.
Nice shot by Osmani. Front quarter Nelson right there, really went with it hard, was able to collect the 3-point takedown on the go behind off of that. Really well done.
Diveresnt, 2023 Cuba national champion, a Pan Am bronze medalist. 2-time Cuban junior national champion in 2021 and 2022.
And what you're going to see from these Cuban wrestlers, it looks a little bit like Shane Van Ness out there. He does a great job of you know, Penn State wrestler who's back in the lineup right now this year. Does such a great job of crowding and keeping good position. They're tough to get out of position themselves. They're always wrestling a little bit low. You see how he just glides away from that shot there, and then, you know, can get right into your kitchen really well just by stance and motion.
Berwick 7-5, 1-2 in duels. Coming off a loss to Tyler Wells, 3-2. And the Bison's loss to the Gophers. No score, 90 seconds into this first period here at 133. North Dakota State winning at 125. They lead at 3-0. And speaking of underhooks, Berwick with an underhook on the left.
Working hard with that underhook, but just the motion, they don't expend a heck of a lot of energy there. Stay in good ties. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to keep that stance that long, but there's a nice slow shot of the Cyclone.
Evan Frost a bit under the weather, the All-American for the Cyclones, ranked 7th in the nation. He was 6th a year ago, coming off a runner-up finish at the CKLV. But today it is Osmani Diveresnt. Collar tie there from Berwick.
Yeah, that fought up pretty well by Osmani there. Now he works with that underhook, shrugs it right into a single leg.
Second takedown of the period, 6-1.
Yeah, you're not going to see
mat wrestling.
Yeah, not a lot of mat wrestling here from Osmani, or for Echemendia and some of the Cuban wrestlers. You're not going to see that much out of them that way. But you know what? With this 3-point takedown, it really becomes a great advantage for those that wrestled, grew up wrestling international style, so the freestyle. So it's like, take advantage of that. Don't try to work yourself into too big of a lather here trying to ride a guy.
2 takedowns for Diveresnt. If Bastida and Echemendia were healthy, it'd be 3 Cubans in a lineup today.
That's right. There you see the front quarter Nelson right there. Almost gets him over, but then Berwick kind of concedes the go-behind position, or rather have you go behind me than take me over on that quarter Nelson.
And Berwick's really good on top, Jim, so this is where he could put himself right back into the match. Advantageous position here for Berwick.
And he's got a leg in right there. Now he's coming back up to the top. But can he put enough pressure on Osmani to be able to break him down flat, maybe get work for a cradle or something like that? Can he use a power half? He's really locked in with a high figure 4 on that thigh. And now he's got to try to spread him out a little bit. See, the official immediately went into giving the count on the ankle. You want to see him try to flatten him out a little bit there, a little bit more forward pressure, and he's kind of taking him over there with the almost at a 45-degree angle. And the referee's going to give Osmani a new start. That's a break for cyclists.
Berwick this season was 4th at the Southeast Open, 2-1 at the Daktronics Invites. He trails at 6-2 with 121 here in the second period. Berwick, and Jim, if I wrestled for you back in the day at Iowa State, I don't know how often I would have won, but I would lead the team in cautions.
Well, if you wrestled for me back in the day, I'm not so sure how many times you would have gotten the lineup. we had some good guys, Shane.
Good breakdown there from Berwick.
Good job coming up to the feet and making that. You know what? I'd like to see more guys that wrestle Greco do exactly what Osmani did right there in that position. Come to your feet, come over the top, and look for the throw, all right? Look for the big move. The risk reward, I talk about it all the time, is always in your favor right there. You give up a mat return, there's no points if you don't go to your back, all right? And if you're pretty good in that upper body position, which obviously the Greco wrestlers are, all right, the guy's going to either just cut you real easily or he's going to give up a big move.
Diversent's only loss this season was at the Grandview Open. That was down at 125 when he fell to Joey Cruz of Iowa 5-4. Short time, 20 seconds left in this second period. Straight on shot there from Diversent.
Yeah, sometimes come back to that point, Shane, that there's things that you can do in the practice room. There's things you've been drilling on, okay? But sometimes you get in this match situations. You never find the right time. It never seems to be the right position to be able to go up top and throw a guy. In that down position, you get to your feet and you force yourself to do it. You just naturally end up there. And that's the time to learn how to become a big thrower in this style of wrestling.
So Diversent gives the escape to Berwick, 4-point match. Diversent last weekend, Buena Vista University Open champ, Storm Lake, Iowa. You talked about it before, Jim. Iowa State, some good depth.
Yeah, they do have a lot of depth, and again, they got a roster size of 45, and that's with the changes. I'm not so sure as many people that follow the sport casually are really aware of it, but we're in a situation where some of these large roster sizes, 45 guys. I mean, I've had roster sizes that big. Of course, during the course of the year, guys would decide that it wasn't necessarily for them with competition and evaluating whether they can go ahead and do it or not. Now Berwick's in on a shot.
Good hips there from Diversent.
Probably going to be a stalemate, but you know what, you've got to make an impression on these coaches, or you might be asked, you know, hey, we just don't have the space for you. You know, you've got to take advantage of these opportunities.
Reset 109. Riding time and on factor.
You know, that roster thing it's even worse in a sport like football. You've got 130 guys, you know, 133 guys, we'll say at Iowa State playing football. They got to be down to 105 by the time that they start practice next season. So that's a huge decision making, and you're going to see as a result a lot of these guys will probably enter the transfer portal, which is, you know, that number is going to explode this year because of the size of the roster.
Diveresnt, a couple of takedowns, now a front headlock here for the Cyclone. Half a minute left in the match. Same situation as he scored his first takedown with that quarter Nelson. This time, Berwick does a better job defending, staying square.
But Osmani's doing exactly what he needs to do in this period, basically keeping that head stuff right there. He may not get the points, but he's been able to control the match from that position.
On the strength of a couple of takedowns in the first period, Osmani Diveresnt at 133 pounds brings this crowd to its feet. We're tied 3-3 after 2 matches with the Cyclones and Bison.
Shane, I gotta apologize to you because I would have recruited you if I knew about you, all right? If I know what I know now about you, all right? And you would have been in my room, and like I said, you may not have made the lineup there, but you would have been. I'd love to have you in my room. You'd have to get rid of that coffee grinder, though. I'd have to do that. Teach you good head lever, you know, things that you could really do to really help you.
How great is this, Jim, as we get ready for 141 pounds? What are your favorite groups? Motley Crue with some Kickstart My Heart. One of the great CDs. Remember back in the early 90s, Columbia House, you get 8 CDs for $1. I was a freshman in high school in 1991, and this was one of my selections. Still one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yeah, I was listening to the Stones, little Waylon Jennings and George Strait.
Kickstart My Heart. Here we go, 141 pounds. It is Jacob Frost, the redshirt sophomore for the Cyclones. Kellen March in his 5th year out of Canton, South Dakota. 4-time Class B champion. Part of a few team titles as well. Wrestling for North Dakota States. Frost 11-3, 4 tech falls and a fall. It's his first duel of the year.
Yeah, this is again, for Frost, he's a guy that has a high pace, just like his brother Evan, likes to get in on those shots. Nice job of finishing here on the inside of the leg. He had an opportunity to go ahead and come up, and he chose the inside leg. Now he's coming to shelf the bottom of the leg that's captured there, run towards it. Don't like the fact that he gave up that, put his arm around the waist. Now he's going to come out the back door. What you want to try to do here is scoop the bottom leg, but you know what? Marsh is doing a nice job of keeping that leg bent. So you're trying to think about, okay, how can I get the hips separated here? How can I separate my hips, all right, and make a big turn here? He's going to go ahead and try to unlock at the crotch right there. And he gets off to the side.
No takedown yet.
He didn't get to the far ankle. It was there. Now a roll-through situation, but Frost did a great job anticipating that. That was hard work.
3-0 here for Frost.
Because you notice how everything he did there was airtight, okay? I'm going to advance my position, and when I make my move, I'm going to make sure I get a little better, a little bit tighter here, and not do anything wild in that situation. He did a lot of things well to be able to get that takedown.
Has that inside wrist. You see March head on the mat. A lot of good pressure there from Frost in the top position. Frost, Louisiana native, won 3 state titles at Holy Cross in Louisiana, then came to Dowling Catholic as a senior, was a runner-up. Lost a rider block 2-0 in that Iowa State final, and now looking for a tilt. Rolls through, but no near fall points. Inside of a minute, 50 seconds here in this first period. If you are March right here, Jim, How do you get out from underneath?
Well, you just really got to try to get your head up a little bit, and maybe your back. See how his back is sloped down from his butt is high, his back sloped down. You got to try to reverse that, where you get your butt down and you get your back into the guy. All right. You know what I like hitting right here? That right arm is so tight right there, is that if you can go ahead and hit a little side roll, you may not get the roll, but you create enough of a little bit of an action there that you might be able to separate your hips a little bit better.
March riding on the edge.
Restart here left for March. We're going to see what his first move may be. 11 seconds left in the period. Caution on Frost.
1:28 of riding time here for Frost. Coming off a 5th place finish at the Cliff Keen. Now a caution on March.
And like the point you were trying to make, Shane, earlier, that, you know, hey, why not use these things? These are the perfect situation to be able to go ahead and, you know,
try to get that little edge off the whistle.
Especially with 11 seconds left.
Short time in this first period. Frost has the takedown, looking for the ride out. Looking for a mat return to close the period. And time expires. Good period there for the Cyclone.
I like the way he's kind of sagged his hips a little bit. If you go back and look at that, he bent at the knees a little bit and just kind of sagged down on his opponent. He didn't create any hip space right there, but get a little pinch right there, but lowered, not only pinched, but just lowered his butt a little bit, bent his knees, and made his opponent carry his weight. It's kind of like putting another 30, 40 pounds of sag over there on one side of the body.
Frost fighting hands as he works to his feet.
In a situation where you just keep on kicking out right there, because you know that March has got to make a desperate attempt to get back up.
Really good job. You saw the 5 count begin. If it hits 5, it's a stall call. March, good awareness, and a great mat return right there on the edge.
That's just good hustle, because, you know, he was totally out of position, right, for that on the ankle right there. Dove up there, gave him a chance to get out. Now he can control the clock if they go out of bounds. Stay in the top position.
And Frost gets the escape, and he adds to his lead, now up 4-0.
Yeah, I don't understand. If March wanted to stay in the top position, he should have just drove him off there right away and not let him square up at that position. But maybe he was a little bit less committed to staying in the top position this period.
This is the first dual meet of the year for Frost. He was 1-1 in dual meets last season for the Cyclones. 60 seconds left. Nice attack below the knee.
Yep, right at the knee right there. He's going to try to shelf one more time. All right, now he gets to the far ankle. This should be scoring right there. Just drive around. And what I see from Frost is, Jacob Frost is in this situation. You notice how he had the far ankle. He didn't panic. He just slowly moved around there. He knew he had plenty of time to be able to do that. Stayed low, kept his shoulder low, kept his shoulder into that knee right there, at that hip area right there, and scored the points.
Second takedown for Frost. 25 seconds, second period. He's got that near ankle scooped up. There is a stall call on March on bottom.
I think that's strictly just a visual there. He's got his head on the mat, and there's not a lot you can do if you just post your head on the mat like that. But again, that's a problem when he's trying to fight this with elbows out, wrists in. When you have your elbows out, notice how the elbows are out right there. It's just really easy to go ahead and grab those wrists as the top guy.
Another period finished on top for Jacob Frost. March in his 5th year. Started his first 3 seasons in Fargo. His first 2 at 133, the last 2 at 149. In 2023, he was 25-9. Qualified for the NCAAs at 149 after a 4th place finish at the Big 12s, and was 9-3 for the Bison in dual meets that season. He trails at 8-0 early 3rd period.
Nice size 141-pounder is March, right?
Counterattack there from Frost.
Oh, I like this. The wrestling has really picked up here. These two guys are scrapping. March
right now, if you're March, you want to avoid giving up that major decision.
Right there, yeah. March,
what made that so effective?
well, first of all, it's a straight-on double leg shot that really didn't have much of a setup there. So, Frost was able to stuff the head really well. And instead of, circling to the right, which was his normal single leg side, he just went the other way. Again, going back to the Frost, he just doesn't really, he's got an advantage position here.
Gets that ankle, and 3 more on the board for the Cyclone Frost. And he is looking for a tech fall. He leads it 14-1.
I just like the way he's finishing. He's not putting too much on the table at once here. Gradually increases his position and scores the points. And right now, Marsh doesn't want to let him up. Right?
He's got that riding time locked up.
Makes it 15-2.
30 seconds. Frost relentless.
Well, this time he's going to the opposite side, Shane, right? Marsh has got his lock in the crotch there a little bit, right? He scoops up the bottom leg right there. Now you come in there with a half Nelson, right? Right there, in that position right there, finish with a half Nelson, and the guy comes over the top like that. Good job late in this match to get the tech fall.
Jacob Frost with a whole lot of pace here in Humboldt. The tech fall, 17-2. And the Cyclones now lead North Dakota State 8-3. Those Frosts, Jim, it is relentless pressure and pace, and a little bit more pace.
Yeah, they're just competitive. They just don't make a lot of mistakes. In that 141, 149 area, it's so competitive there for the Cyclones. Every practice you can go up against one of the best guys in the country.
And how about that weight class nationally with Andrew Lira's won a national title a couple years ago for Northern Colorado. Jesse Mendez, the reigning national champ. You got a gut feeling early on this season who might have the inside track for what it's worth in mid-December?
I don't. Not that I want to disclose it this time, but
And Bo Bartlett as well is ranked third. He's right there.
He's right there. Yeah, Bo Bartlett was really close to, a leg up in the air finish on Jesse Mendez in that national finals match. If he gets that, but that was one of the most unbelievable counters I ever saw, right? In a clutch situation by Mendez, and followed it up with a scoring move himself. It was a heck of a, not a lot of scoring, but
with those guys, it's a one takedown match, just like we saw in the Big Ten final.
And it doesn't have to be, but it is, because they compete at a level of intensity. You think to yourself, I was thinking about this on the way up here to Humboldt today. I said, hey, in wrestling, you're always trying to, there's tight match situations, and there's a lot of self-talk that goes on in that. And sometimes you find yourself in a situation where, just like Mendez was in that NCAA finals match where the leg was up in the air, I would have loved to be able to go ahead and put some sort of wire on top of what his self-talk was at that point in time. Because a lot of guys will go, oh gosh, oh dang it, oh what, there's that moment right there, and when you do that and you think like that, you're taken down, all right? To compete in that moment right there in the nanosecond like that is really what you have to be able to do without creating anxiety.
You sound like a guy that won a national title.
Well, I had some moments in those matches that were like that, but it's like, increasing intensity without increasing anxiety, that's what all the great champions have learned.
I'm stealing that one. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to steal it.
I came up with it driving
I
up
love it. I like that.
Driving up 169 today north of Fort Dodge. I had about 20 miles left to get to Humboldt. Increase intensity without increasing anxiety.
That's a great line. No score here with Carter Fausick and Gavin Drexler. Drexler with a single leg. He's on his belly, extended underneath. The redshirt sophomore from Stratford, Wisconsin. Multiple-time state champion. Now pops his head to the outside, able to get his hips underneath him a little bit. Fausick, though, rolls him through.
Nice job by Fausick. Now, Fausick's got to keep his head up in this situation. The athlete that gets his head up in this scramble. Now, if I were them, I would just basically go elbow deep around that ankle, which happened, and get a kind of a quick stalemate call, but I think a good one.
Drexler 10-3 this season, 6 bonus point victories, 5 tech falls. He's ranked 26th in the country, according to the FloWrestling rankings. Up from 141 pounds, a really solid season a year ago. He was 14-9. Wrestled at the Big 12s for North Dakota State last March in Tulsa. 50 seconds in a scoreless match. Here at 149, 8-3 on the team scoreboard. Cyclones have won 2 of the 3 matches.
It's a great opportunity for Fausick, a guy that came from Cresco, Iowa, multi-time, state champion. Kind of a grinder, right? Goes out there. What you don't want to see when you have this opportunity to get out there is you don't get a chance to take your best shots.
Fausick 8-4 this season. First dual meet in his career, repping that Iowa State singlets. Was 7th at the Luther Open, 4-2 record at the Grandview Open. No Anthony Echemendia today. The Big 12 champion, the All-American for the Cyclones, ranked 10th in the country. He's going to be out for some time. Scoreless 3 minutes here at 149. Choice goes to Drexler. Takes a quick look at Obi Blanc, the head coach at North Dakota State, now in his 2nd season. Took over when Roger Kish took the head job at Oklahoma.
These 0-0 matches, you got it. I think with the 3-point takedown, you've seen that working on the feet is basically about 75% of the bout anymore, and the mat wrestling is maybe like 25%, top and bottom like 12% apiece. So you've got this opportunity, but these are the times where it really is important to go ahead and to work the guy a little bit. So if you're on top, if you're Fausick, you need a good mat return. That was
great
one.
Mat return right there from Fausick, center of the mats.
All right, and a nice job of elevating right there. Can he get his hips out? Fausick back in on the leg. You got to stay locked up on that. Now, is it worth it to get the stall call? Probably. All right, probably.
An escape there by Drexler. He leads it 1-0.
That's one of those things. If you felt good in the top position, if you're going to get, the referee would have to stop the match and give that stall call right there. If you wanted to stay in that position, you'd hang on that leg. But I think once he heard the count, he let go of it.
Right into that underhook of Drexler.
That was dangerous there.
Almost went over exactly with that whip over.
Right. No setup there by Fausick and coming in with a high elbow like that. And it looks like Drexler's natural with that left-handed underhook. You look back at that and wish you just whipped him over.
Fausick, a redshirt sophomore for Iowa State. 40 seconds left in the 2nd period. Only score, the escape by Drexler after a scoreless first period.
Right here, you can see Drexler picking up the pace a little bit in this match, taking the territory.
Down to 25 seconds, collar tie left side for Fausick.
I just get the sense that Fausick doesn't have the tie that he wants.
Final seconds tick away in this 2nd period. And Fausick will have choice in the 3rd. Saw Dan Drexler up in the stands. His mom, Kara, not here because she's at Grace, Gavin's sister's gymnastics meet. She's a gymnast at Arkansas. A lot of great athletes in that family.
To be a gymnast in the Southeast Conference, that's a pretty good.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Gavin's brothers, Jake and Manny, good wrestlers as well.
Look at Drexler getting high behind the armpits right there. Now Fausick in a position where he's peeling the hands, covered the fingers. Nice job.
Each guy with an escape. It is a 1-1.
Leg and be able to finish a technique. Right now, Fausick has double insides. He has inside bicep tie right there on the right side, and he had collar tie, but he didn't do anything with it. All right, when you have double inside, I mean, that's what you shoot for. You try to get to.
Single-legged attempt there from Drexler.
At the very least, when you got the tie that you like, you got to be able to go forward. And now in a roll-through situation here, Fausick basically got to counter it like he's in the middle, and he did exactly that. That's what you do right there in those situations. Yeah, you gave up a shot right there, but he didn't look to go out of bounds there. He basically countered it like he was in the middle.
Just over a minute remaining here in this 3rd period. That was the best shot between the two up to this point.
No question about it. Now, basically, see what I'm saying there, that they got double inside, but he's not pushing, all right? Okay, you got what you want in the tie. Move forward on him, all right? You get what you want right there. Move forward on him and see if he pressures back, and that's when you go. There's no forward pressure by either one of these guys. Faucett clearly in the tie that he wants, but see how he's fading back? There's no movement forward. If you got what you want, push him.
25 seconds from sudden victory in a 1-1 match.
You know, when I see that, I think, well, maybe he might doubt his conditioning a little bit. Maybe he's not feeling good out there. Maybe there's a lot of questions, and when I see when a guy gets the tie that he wants, right, and then backs away.
Each guy with an escape, the only scoring in the match. And it is going to be sudden victory with Faucett and Drexler. 2 minutes on the clock. Riding time is cleared. Here we go.
Who's going to pull the trigger? And a lot of times you see that the guy that's maybe less confident in his conditioning will be the guy that pulls the trigger first.
Drexler this season, Bison Open champion, 3rd at the Southeast Open, and 2-1 at the Daktronics Invites. He's 10-3, looking for his 11th win of the season. In a good battle here with Carter Faucett of Iowa State. There's a shot from Drexler right into a front headlock, but good recovery there from Drexler.
Yep, nice job getting back to his feet. Now he has the tie that he wants. Inside bicep tie, opposite side collar. He's got the head where he wants it.
Good level change there from Faucett, but Drexler able to crash the hips down in defense.
Good call, Shane.
Good match with these two.
Yeah.
Quick shot off the whistle, darts in on a single leg.
Faucett is doing a nice job of basically collapsing his ribs there. It gets to a 2 count on the neutral danger call right there. He's going to try to get his left ankle back. Good job by Drexler there. Basically, he's going to basically hold on, or is he going to try to improve that position? He's going to try to shelf the leg there. Can he limp out of there at all? He is improving.
Drexler looking to work up.
And he goes hard with that right arm. He comes across and gets both legs. He'll score.
Gavin Drexler in sudden victory. The takedown and a 4-1 victory here at 149.
What a great job of being in that position and continuing to work hard to score and not giving your opponent too much that he might be able to slip around behind you.
And kind of, Jim, what you were talking about before, able to stay calm in a tough situation and just keep on wrestling, stay patient, and he takes advantage and gets the score.
Not trying to do too much at once, but then when he did, you know, you could see he tried to shelf the leg first, and then he's basically trying to get his right arm out and limp that through, and he knocked him over to the side here a little bit. Faucett was in a good position on defense. Exciting match.
So the Bison with wins at 125, and now Drexler at 149 have pulled it within 2. 8-6 as we turn the page to 157. And for the first time this season, Cody Chittum takes the mat for Iowa State, the sophomore from Cleveland, Tennessee. It's actually his first dual meet. He did compete at the Cleveland State Open. Fell to Brandon Cannon of Ohio State 10-6. I know the Cyclones, Jim, excited to have him back in the lineup.
You know, I think that you know, this Cody Chittum here, now you see him here with this left-handed underhook. He will live here in this position. That's his bread and butter. He does a nice job of snapping guys down. Really a good physical wrestler. Had a lot of good wins and high-scoring losses when he wrestled last year. He became kind of a fan favorite the way he would get out there. But, you know, would end up doing some things during the matches that you just couldn't explain. And he just has a really good motor. He's good in the top position. I'm sure he's been a little bit frustrated with how he's performed, or, you know, his career hasn't gone off to that, you know, great start, but he is going to be a fun one to watch as he develops.
Gabe Shamy, redshirt junior from Moreno Valley, California, Citrus Hill High School, placed a couple of times. He's 11-3, and he's dangerous. 6 falls for Shum on the season. Didn't compete last season due to injury. No score, 140 remaining here in this first period. Chittum there with an underhook. Gets the inside position on the right. Hard snap. Chittum, FloWrestling's #1 pound-for-pound recruit in the class of 2022. Out of high school, went and trained in Iowa City with the Hawkeye Wrestling Club before coming to Ames. And he had that great match in the Big 12 Finals with Ryder Downey of Northern Iowa.
They had several.
Those are throwdowns.
Yeah, Downey came back, I think, from a 9-2 deficit the last time that they had wrestled. So in the dual meet prior to that match you're discussing here, I saw that. Nice job, drop it down on that ankle right there. He's got his arm around the waist. He's being patient right there. He collects the points.
Gabe Shum scores first, 3-0.
You know, I think I like what Shum has done right there is he basically didn't give Chittum the head position he likes off of his underhook. And now he's staying tough in that top position.
40 seconds first period.
Plenty of time for Chittum to get out. He's able to go ahead and cover the hands, get the feet moving.
Chittum, after that Big 12 runner-up finish, went to Kansas City as the 14th seed. He was 1-2. Fell to Tommy Askey in the first round. Askey from Appalachian State, now at Minnesota. And then his tournament ended with a 14-13 loss to Michael Blockus of Minnesota. 10 seconds left.
Front headlock position there, but say Chum's doing that nice job of basically hanging on to that elbow. Now he's coming back through it. Possibly could have scored. Boy, he's got some strength and length.
Shum leads at 3-1 after the first period. Chittum will go on bottom. Chittum, a two-time state champion, Fargo Junior freestyle champion, 6 times an All-American at the Fargo Dome. I think we have some blood now on Shum. Shane Sparks, Jim Gibbons, glad to have you here on FloWrestling. And Jim's got his popcorn. How was it, Jim?
Yeah, I want to do a little taste test on this popcorn here.
Looks good.
Salinity is good.
What's the what's the salt ratio?
The salt ratio is pretty good. You know, it's got a lot. It's kind of got some yellow kernels in there, yellow popped, and a little bit more lighter colored stuff. But you know, give it a shot, Shane.
Definitely try some at the intermission for sure. Popcorn at a high school dual meet. It's a must-have.
You know what? And you've done this too. You've done a lot of high school wrestling broadcasts over the years. That you know, you get out the door so late. I was running practice and. You know, got to be in a town like an hour away. That would be my dinner for the night. Would be what was in the concession stand. The walking taco, the
walking taco. Yeah, those never disappoint. Looking for some back points. It's going to be some near fall here for Gabe Shum.
I think he's got 2.
It's going to make it a 5-1 match.
Shum has done a nice job of hanging with him, and now he comes back up on the top. Chittum basically is when you hold on to that leg right there, you basically got to try to push it away because you're locking yourself in there.
Just like you're trapping yourself.
Yeah, you're just like and now Shum gets in a better position where he creeps those hips back up into the top position.
What a period here for Gabe Shum. And now he's got Chittum flat on his belly, center of the mats. That riding time now over 1:20 for Shum. You can tell he's just so comfortable in the top position.
Yeah, he has got that strong lats there. Now Chittum basically coming back around. Can he go ahead and try to get more than just 1 point? He does. It's 2 points, but is he going to let him up here and try to do well on the feet? Right now, Shane, you've got to feel your opponent. Is he weak right now? Is he getting a little tired? Did he exhale in that position? I think right now you're going to basically try to
ride him out.
Ride him out, stay in the top position, but you got to move your feet along with that. Now take him out of bounds.
Shum was looking for a switch there, out of bounds, back to the center.
And if Shum really has a great opportunity here with 23 seconds left, if you can go ahead and get another escape right here.
Scoreboard reads 5-3 in-house, but I believe it's 5-4. He got that escape, and now the takedown, it's 5-4. 23 seconds, this is big. If Chittum can ride out the period, he'll take that riding time under 60 seconds, quickly slides both boots in, and brings Shum back down to his belly. This has been a battle.
Yeah, now Chittum working in the top position there. He's not wasting any time, putting some physical pressure on his opponent. So, again, did you feel something out there at the edge of the mat? Was it, I know Shum got and almost got out right there. Was that the last of what he had? What does he have going forward?
So Shum's got the choice, takes a look over at his corner, and he's going to go on bottom. A lot of strategy right now in this match. As you see Chittum looking at his corner, Kevin Drexler says, let's put him on his feet. Gives that escape, so it's 6-3. Chittum needs a takedown.
Well, the battle, Shane, on the feet. Now they're going to call stalling here because he has to retie his shoe. So you take a look at the action right here. I think the battle right now head to outside shot there by Chittum. Is he able to get the arm across the waist? He wasn't able to do it. But what does he do from here? He's going to try to slide that right knee underneath.
Wants to clear his right arm, correct?
Yeah, he wants to clear his right arm, but if he just hips over and gets him onto his left hip, he'll have a better opportunity to score it. That was really well done because he came over the far ankle there and basically tried to lock it.
Now he tries a mixer, and now he's got Shum on his back. Chittum looking for the fall. Scoops the legs up. Shum continues to fight it.
He's got it now. Comes across to the other side. That's it.
Cody Chittum with the fall. In his first dual meets of the season for the Cyclones, he fell behind. But the conditioning shown as the match progressed. And Cody Chittum, the sophomore from Cleveland, Tennessee. Big win for the Cyclone.
Pace was more important score than that one there. Cody gets the big move at the end. You knew that when he cast across to the other side, got the head off the mat, shoulders were the only thing supporting him here. Big fall.
This place got loud. Here inside Humboldt High School, exciting first half of action. Another look at the pin. He had him tight right there. He really cinches things up. It was only a matter of time. Chittum entertaining this crowd here inside Humboldt High School as the Cyclones, after 5 matches, lead at 14-6. Second half upcoming. Don't go anywhere. Shane Sparks, Jim Gibbons here on FloWrestling.com.
You ready?
Wrestling is an extreme sport. I'm an extreme person.
I remember hearing about Chance when he was in middle school because he was entering college opens and winning matches.
He was like an urban legend.
And he became mythological at that point.
Then he hits the high school scene and just runs through everybody.
He was a phenom from the time that he first stepped on the mat.
He almost has it down to a science, almost.
But it definitely came at a price.
I was an opioid addict. I was addicted to fentanyl.
How difficult?
I don't want to go back.
If this kid's a hammer on the mat, he's probably crazy off as well.
Why is somebody from jail calling me?
There was rumors about Chance.
7 years probation?
But I don't think anyone thought it was going to be as bad as it was.
He can fucking tape you as soon as he wants. Stand down and shut up.
As far as Chance hiding things, I'll be honest with you, he was great at it. I didn't know probation lasted that long. Like, if you're that bad as shit, I thought you got thrown in jail.
This isn't the guy that I thought Chance Marsteller was.
He showed up with a backpack and just looked like a shell of himself.
This is where the story of me fighting 6 police officers comes about.
He gets arrested. It's very, very bad.
Most people have given up on me at this point.
He hit rock bottom at that point.
Yeah, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Chance Marsteller is the greatest example of human triumph in the history of our sport.
The rise and then the fall and then the come up, that's a great story. And people need to hear that.
I was starting to see Chance again.
This dude's in my way of winning a world title, and that was the goal that I wrote down when I was a little kid, was win a world title.
Some banks and his wrestling IQ is off the charts. I appreciated that.
The little kid Chance is back.
You thought you won, and now you're in a huge hole against the greatest American wrestler of all time.
I took that personally.
That was my advice to him, was give yourself a chance.
Chance was becoming this hero. It was almost like Rocky.
Don't fool yourself, kid. You're gonna come back in here just like everybody else.
You prepared for this. You chose this. You meticulously prepped and arrived at this moment.
Training for the opportunity to beat Jordan Burroughs to represent the United States, it was ingrained in his mind.
I'm going to keep tracking you down until I get you.
Surprises at every turn this final X.
Can you make it back? I don't know. No one's ever told me they did.
Cyclones lead at 14-6 as we start the second half at 165 pounds. Manny Rojas, redshirt sophomore for Iowa State. Bowden Greenley, a redshirt freshman from Lisbon, North Dakota, five-time North Dakota state champion. Toes the line for the Bison as Rojas drops in the single leg, has it shelved. He's in great position.
He is in good shape right there. He gets up to his feet there. He's got to try to work through that whizzer, but he's driving across. Now he sets him back on his rear and able to score. Nice job there, pulling off that underhook right there with the leg shelved.
This is Rojas's first career dual meet for Iowa State. He's off to an 11-4 start. Gives the escape. It's a 3-1 score.
Gives up that underhook. And nice job of settling back into the front headlock as Rojas. You can tell he looks a little bit small, all right, for the 65-pound weight class.
No MJ Gaitan, ranked 17th in the nation for the Cyclones on this Sunday afternoon.
Ooh, nice.
Shot once again for Rojas. Greenley with an underhook.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Boy, he's a big 65-pounder, doesn't it? Am I missing something here?
He began this season, Jim, at 157 at the Southeast Open.
He just looks big out there. Look at the legs and everything. So
he's 7-10 this season, looking for his first dual meet victory. Lost to Andrew Sparks of Minnesota.
Drops in on a leg here, Greenley.
In good shape right here, but you see the hip defense from Rojas. Has him crunched underneath.
Good point, Shane. Just stuffing the head, using his hips to cover the back of the head right there, and not doing anything where he loses his pressure out there. Keeping the laces a little bit flat right there, getting a little bit better angle. You just don't want to do anything right there that'll allow the man's strength to take over. He knocks him down to his hip one more time. Can he go ahead and keep circling around, break that grip, but just more importantly, just keep that angle that he has right now off to the side. A lot of times what you can did is that bottom leg right there, it was sliding in there, get it elbow deep and put some more pressure on him, but at the very least gets the stalemate.
Greenley, three-sport athlete at Lisbon. Football, wrestling, and track. He was a two-time All-State running back. I can see it.
Yeah. What did he do in track? Sprinter, probably.
"20 seconds left in this first period.
So both guys have had decent shots in there. Greenley wasn't able to finish, and Rojas did a nice job of finishing his shot right there. Switches it into a double leg shot straight on, but you know, Greenley likes that left-handed underhook right there. Not able to get head position as the period ends.
Manny Rojas from Bay City, Michigan, wrestled at Detroit Catholic Central. Four-time finalist, two-time champion, part of some team titles. Junior national champion at Fargo as well. Rojas goes on bottom here, second period. Quickly works to his feet. Fighting hands. Greenley looking for a mat return.
Nice job of keeping his feet. Gives it up right there. But, you know, if you keep your knees up close during that mat return, you can get right back up to a scoring position. He's got the hip split right now. He's really trying to muscle it back up there, cover the fingers. He's got the hand split. Greenley able to get to the legger there off of that and drive him off the mat. For a split second there, he had the hand split. Wasn't able to step out of that ankle ride.
Rojas won the Luther Open. He was 4-2 at the Grandview Open. And last weekend, 2-2 at the Cleveland State Open. To his feet once again, and this time he skips away and has the escape tally on the board for the Cyclone. 4-1, 1:20 remaining in the period. Greenley wrestled one duel last season for North Dakota State. Lost 2-0 to Brock Mahler, so an opportunity here for Greenley, the redshirt freshman. Looking for a takedown to tie it up. He trails at 4-1.
Shane, what I'm noticing here is that Rojas is, you know, the penetration on his shots is kind of getting a little bit more shallow each time. It's something that Greenley might be able to pick up on. Right there, he's not really committing to attacking to the leg. The opening is there, but he's just taking a little bit, you know, maybe a little bit more cautious with the lead. Now Greenley has the underhook that he wants. There, you notice just a little bit more shallow. He's kind of, angled into it as opposed to dropping and driving.
Greenley pushing him around with that underhook once again. Short time, down to 20 ticks.
Working the head is Rojas. Short time, as you mentioned, Shane, and I guess it's an advantage period here for Rojas. He was able to get the escape and stay neutral. He's got 4-1 lead heading into the period. I didn't see much riding effort in the top position. Don't expect to see that in the third, so look for this match to be decided on the feet.
4-2.
There, a little bit better penetration here by Rojas. He got a better angle there to come up. He can switch off to a double. No, he's going to scoop the leg.
Good flexibility there from Greenley.
Yeah, anticipated that coming to his right ankle really well. Rojas still doing some work here down there with his head stuffed. Follows back through, gets to his feet. Nice job of getting to his feet.
How do you finish this? What adjustments does he need to make?
He's got to, remember the last time he was able to shelf, and then he used the underhook in this position to sit him back in the other direction. He's right not in a position to do this. You just had to anticipate that roll through. Now if he could come with a half Nelson right here, it'd be huge.
Got a one count on neutral danger.
You come with a half Nelson right there, and before the referee does that, because it really was potentially dangerous.
Just over a minute left. Cyclone up 4-2.
Really on Greenley right now to get it going. That he can't wait. 15 seconds left, and you see that so many times in the sport.
There's a nice shot.
Committed shot right there, elbow deep around the knee. Now what does he need to do? He gets up to his feet real easily. Okay, chooses the going on the outside.
Limp arm out. Treetop single leg, 40 seconds, center of the mat, his best opportunity. A takedown knee would take the lead.
Yeah, but you notice how he was close to the leg and he wasn't able to sweep it. Now he's all the way about 2 feet away. He's able to dive through and get the takedown.
Corrals those ankles and gets the takedown. It is 5-4, and he's going to take that stall call, but it takes 5 seconds off the clock. Good awareness.
Good awareness here. Good stall call, too. He didn't really move up on the situation.
But now he's got to be careful, Jim. 20 seconds. A stall call would send this to sudden victory. Riding time and on factor. So here we go. 20 seconds. Greenley.
I think he may have waved off the stall call.
Greenley needs the ride out for the victory.
We're not really in a very good vantage position to be able to see that, but there was some sort of wave off there by the official.
Down inside of 15 seconds. Now he drops below the knee.
You just got to keep on kicking out, right? Now he calls a riding time stall warning there. Stop the riding time at that point in time. Riding time I don't think is even a factor here.
So you were right, Jim. They did wave off that first stall call because that was a stall.
Yeah, and I think the reason why they waved it off because Rojas was off the mat. He was on the gym floor.
The late takedown from Bowden Greenley is going to give him the 5-4 decision. Big win for the Bison at 165 pounds. Now 14-9 on the team scoreboard. Really took advantage, Jim, with his best opportunity, he capitalized.
Yeah, we were talking about that with a minute left of the match, and it says now's the time to go. And right then he hit that nice shot, got in deep. Did an excellent job of finishing on the edge of the mat there, dropping into the far ankle. So you can see this finish right here. He squatted down, he dropped down low, below the knee, got the far ankle.
Now 174 for number 8. This is Wasley for your cyclone.
174 pounds.
Dire Straits.
I was just going to say,
I want my
some
MTV.
Dire Straits, one of the great 80s songs, no question. I love it. Who's ever playing the music here, Jim?
Well,
it's an A in my book, and we're going to talk about it. The popcorn was great. The hot dog was even better. 174 right here with Aiden Riggins, the redshirt sophomore, And Devin Wasley gets the call for North Dakota State's redshirt sophomore from Hammond, Wisconsin. Wrestled at St. Croix Central High School. Couple-time runner-up, and Riggins wasting no time, looking to finish on a single.
Yeah, look at the difference now, Shane. He's on the inside of the leg right now, but he ends up losing that position. I think his hands were locked. What I'd consider incorrectly is because you like to have the outside palm down. It makes it a lot more difficult for the guy to pick your wrist to separate your grip.
New schools for both these guys. Aiden Riggins coming from Iowa City. Devin Wasley wrestled at Minnesota.
Custom kitchen delivery. We got to move these refrigerators.
I'm with you. MTV, remember the days they played music videos when it was actually really, really good?
It was awesome.
Riggins with a 2-on-1. He's from Janesville, Iowa. Waverly Shell Rock. 4-time placer, 2-time champion, was an All-American in Fargo. We're scoreless inside of 2 minutes in this first period. Riggins, Jim, his first 2 years at Iowa, wrestled 157, 165, and 174. Last season, the majority of the season at 184, wrestled for the Hawkeyes at the Big Tens.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's kind of the utility guy right there. And, you know, at 184, he just, you know, you're when you span that many weight classes, you almost have the power that's needed at 184 versus maybe the quickness and the technique that you need at 57. But to watch him, I don't think he really felt like he was outgunned in any situation. He just kind of lost a lot of close matches, and I think when you sit there and take a look at Riggins and where he is at this point in time, is that maybe not the best athlete right there, but he's got to be able to go ahead and win matches through his grit right there. Now he's in on a leg shot right there. He's trying to clear his head with that, and he does able to clear his head right there. Should be able to crawl back up, all right, and improve his position and roll him back a little bit. He does collect the points, and that's the type of guy that he has to be here going forward here if he's going to do anything with this position that he's in right now. Being able to be a varsity wrestler for the Cyclones here and make it less about your athletic ability and more about your grit.
Riggins 6-5 on the season, looking for his first dual meet victory of the season. Riggins was Grandview Open champion, wrestled in Vegas for the Cyclones. He was 1-2 at the Cliff Keen.
Nice job of scooting with the knee right there. Comes up to his feet. Yeah, Riggins following it back in there, being tough there. He's willing to go ahead and give that count up, and even better, get off the mat. 16 seconds left, so that's the battle right now. Can Wasley get out here and answer that takedown?
That was big for Riggins. Just didn't give it up.
Dove right in there.
Stayed right on him. Stayed chasing. Big situation right here with 15 seconds in this first period.
A lot of it's, Shane, that when you're trying to be able to go ahead and stay in the top position, elbows in, all right? Don't make it easy for him to get his grip right there. Now he needs a good mat return. Drops in on the leg. Does the finish. That was really well done. That's the grit that we're talking about. That's the things that the guy like this has to do. If you're blessed to be able to get a takedown in the first period there with not much time left here, got to be able to finish the period on top.
It was a really good final 40 seconds, the way that he got the takedown. Some savvy when Wasley was trying to run away and Riggins stayed with him. Then, of course, off that restart with 15 seconds. Dropped it on a single leg to keep in control to end the period. Now he's on bottom. Wasley's had that ankle scooped up. Good forward pressure as he seeks a boot left side.
Yeah, nice work there. So he knows how he chopped him first, then he went into the claw ride, then put the leg in. And Riggins basically doing a nice job of getting his hips out in this position. You see where Wasley's holding on to the ankle right there. Got to try to get a little bit more back pressure. Use your right leg to get out. Good stalemate there, call. I tell you what, Carlos Mansell, the official here, has done a really nice job today so far, right?
He has.
Yeah, really good job.
Been consistent.
All the way from South Carolina, made it through the ice storm here in Iowa. Must have got here 2 days early.
And now Wasley showing some grits.
Right.
As he stays in control. Wasley 0-2 in dual meets, coming off a loss to Clayton Whiting, 8-3. In North Dakota State's loss against the Gophers. How about that Minnesota team, Jim?
I just really like what they've done, but that coaching staff has always been for real, and they've really got a bunch of guys in there, I think, that believe in their culture and their system.
And then some pretty good heavyweight showed back up. That never hurts.
Yeah. Good
Here's
job.
Riggins.
You're going to try to
elevate.
You want to get to your feet here. Oh, basically drive through and gets the reversal. No, yeah, reversal. So here we are, Shane, in that situation here, 48 seconds left. You probably want to stay on top if you're Riggins. Wasley's got to try to get to his feet.
Down to 40 seconds.
Nice front trip.
You love that.
I do love that, because look at the result, right? You get a guy who has his nose over the toes a little bit, kind of floundering around out there. Big scoop. I think too many guys waste time. If you try a technique like that where you drop your level and come through on him right there with that trip, look what it resulted in.
Has that wrist. Look at Wasley's elbows out.
When you do that, a guy doesn't land on his knees. It's not like lifting him up and a guy brings his knees up and we see the roll through and things like that. A technique like that, nobody rolls through on it. Front trip. And just like that, he's able to end the period. So that mat return, probably about 30 seconds left.
Finishes both periods on top. I mean, you and I have talked about this a million times. A mat return is 3rd and 1 on the gridiron. It's 3rd and 1. Keep possession, move the sticks, move the chains. Now showing that optional starts. Wasley goes on bottom here in this 3rd period. And right now, of course, Riggins thinking bonus points.
And I think, probably the Iowa State coaching staff would just like to see one of those other solid takedowns. Well, just like that.
Leg.
Scoops up the bottom leg. He's in a Turk position right now. Look at him trying to scoop that leg up here. Try to get that bottom leg up in the air. Now, for me, I would come back with my left arm and try to maybe get elbow deep on that bottom leg here, so he may be able to move to a cradle. But at the very least, Wasley's been wise to that, pushes it away and gets forward. That's a good job by him in the bottom position.
Riding time coming up on 60 seconds for the Cyclone Riggins, who's up 8-1. Bonus points territory for Iowa State here at 174.
Coming back around the front, headlock position.
8-2 with that escape.
Takedown makes it 11-2.
Wasley look to jump over the top.
And
Another shot.
Here's the stage in the match right there. Again, Wasley kind of came to Riggins in that situation. Wasley was the guy that, really wanted to get back in the match. And you sense that and you go, okay, I can just go ahead and play go behind here if you want me to.
Another takedown for Riggins. 11-2. Glad to have you with us here on FloWrestling on this Sunday afternoon in Humboldt, Iowa. Shane Sparks alongside Jim Gibbons. This week on FloWrestling, FloWrestling Night in America on Wednesday and Thursday.
Where are you going on Wednesday?
I will be in Austin, Texas, doing the wrestling from the Flow headquarters. I got to get you down and check that place out. Really nice.
Well, we're the duel.
Yes.
Our documentary is going to be on Flow at the end of the next month.
We'll talk more about that. This match is in the book with the riding time. It is a 12-2 decision for Aiden Riggins. Picks up his first dual meets in this is redshirt sophomore campaign. 3 more for the Cyclones. And they now lead it 17-9. So 184, it is Aiden Brenau, redshirt freshman out of Clarksville, Tennessee for North Dakota State. Brenau, 5-5, 1-2 in dual meets. And Nando Escusa, the redshirt sophomore, originally from Arizona, off to a good 10-4 start. But Brenau gets behind the Cyclone, and Brings him down to the Resolite, captures a wrist on the way down. He leads it 3-0. You speak about that a lot too, Jim. When you're bringing a guy down to the mat, get a wrist.
Get a wrist on the way down, and this is going to be a real challenge for Nando for Escusa. He's the son of Fernando, who's the heads up part of the program there, one of the volunteer coaches involved with the club. Probably you'd have to say that Fernando would be the Cuba connection there. A lot of with the athletes that have come from Cuba and coached in Arizona, and really a great guy.
This is Escusa's first dual meet of the season, second of his career. Oh, nice throw by. No takedown yet. Roll there from Brenau as they scramble on the edge inside of 2 minutes in the period.
He's got the hip locked up right there, but he's given up the ankle. But if he could drive back in and maybe get him towards the center of the mat, it's going to require a little bit of a kick out right there. Improve your position.
See, Brenau's got those ankles and they're out of bounds.
That's good reactions by both guys.
Escusa in a dual meet last year beat Cleveland State's. 3 opens so far this season for Escusa. 6th at the Luther Open. He was 3-2 at Grandview and 3rd at the Buena Vista Open.
How about this? Try to get the leg in on the opposite side. It comes back into a little.
Dumped him back and puts him on his back.
Good job. That technique really wasn't there. And caught his opponent squared up. Brenau squares up a little bit and comes back behind the knee. Uses the underhook to go the other direction.
So Escusa now leads it 4-3.
Claw ride right there. You can tell with his length he was really comfortable putting that leg in.
Sinks that claw ride in, a lot of forward pressure. You see Brenau in some trouble, center of the mat, on his belly, giving up those wrists.
We saw where the official, Carlos Mansell, would you put your head on the mat, he's going to give you a stalling call
bad
right
optics.
There. Yep, bad optics, and that really pressured him down. Again, it's really tough to wrestle with your elbows out like that. Now quad pod stand up there. Escusa is going to go ahead and cut him.
We are locked up at 40 seconds.
You mentioned optics there too. Blocking with the top of the head right there by Renault. Forward pressure right now. Right now, you just want to go ahead and snap him down a little bit. You take that forward pressure, push him back. Really worked hard on that underhook. You can sense that Renault is really kind of tiring here a little bit. And now the pace is picking up. He'll get the stall warning. That was earned.
Stall call on Brenau. And you look at the body language, hands on the hips, slower walk to the center of the mats. Escusa heavy with the hands on the head.
Now he's coming back in that collar tie a little bit. You can get the sense that Renault not very active right now. Another quick, actually the end of the period right there, but interesting choice here. Okay, Renault's going to take the down position. Looked over at Obi Blanc and North Dakota State head coach and wants his athlete to take the down position.
Escusa's got close to 30 seconds of riding time. No Evan Bachman today, the 3-time national qualifier for the Cyclones. Good mat return right there from Escusa.
that's the hard way, right? That was the full clean and slam it down.
Riding time at 45 seconds as Brenau pops back to his feet. And Brenau leads at 5-4 with that escape. He got the first takedown.
Renault's doing a better job now tying up Escusa's wrists. Now working heavy with that underhook. He's able to slide right back there. Good balance there by Escusa. He's able to get the takedown on the edge.
Has that leg snaked in for the 3. And this one going back and forth at 184. The Cyclone leads it and takes riding time over 60 seconds. Midway through the second period.
More forth than back. Yeah, it was just Escusa's not a great job of getting himself back into that match, and is really more the physically aggressive person.
And I think his top game, it's definitely taken a lot of the gas out of the tank of Brenau.
Yeah, a lot of times, Shane, you see guys that get in the lineup for the first time. They got the nerves. They've got the, you know, they can't necessarily. They can go for 30 minutes of hard wrestling in a practice, but they can't necessarily out here and the lights are on. It's a different story here. You don't see that from Escusa.
And now Brenau picking his pace up a little bit. And he's in position to score as they roll out of bounds. 7-6 back to the center.
Yeah,
that was close.
That was close. You got to take a look at, was he behind it when certainly the weight was on the hands when he finished that technique.
And Obi Blanc, you see the challenge brick. So the officials, of course, can view any video at their discretion at any time. And dual meet wrestling, each corner gets a challenge. If you lose the challenge, you are out for the remainder of the dual meet. If you win it, they give you your brick back. So North Dakota State going to challenge that takedown. It was close.
No question about it. And being here in the high school gym and all that, they're going to, looks like they're looking at it from an iPad. Don't have the same resources that you'd have at Hilton Coliseum.
18-9, Iowa State leading North Dakota State. The Big 12 opener for both these teams. You and I were talking about the duel. As I rode in, I saw Eagle Grove, friend of ours, with you at the duel with John Myers, and as you mentioned, that's going to be on FloWrestling.
Yep, John was the executive producer and producer and director and writer, and did about everything here with that project here. So
no takedown, and what the duel is, it's a dual meet with Iowa State, yourself against Dan Gable.
Well, what it is the dual meet that happened basically in 1986 between Iowa and Iowa State. It was my first year coaching. It was the year that Coach Gable was going for his 9 in a row. And in that dual meet, we had 12 wrestlers that won 16 NCAA championships. Take a look at that lineup there between all of them, and it was it morphs into, we of course won the dual meet, but it morphs into a story about Gable and the 9 in a row, and basically it was really cool to see guys 35 years later after that significant event happened here talking about their matches, and it was just a real thrill to be a part of it.
The Escusa hit, or will go on bottom rather. 1-point match. He'll go on bottom here to begin this period. Keep an eye out for that on FloWrestling. The duel. The Escusa to his feet. And right now, he's still got that riding time over 60 seconds.
Wow, nice job of the Escusa to underhook there, saw that shot coming. He's got a good whip over, but also what was impressive is that you saw that Brenau was trying to go ahead and lift him in that position, and he made himself so heavy that I think Brenau gave up on the mat return in that situation and gave the escape. So 8-6 score.
At the moment, the Escusa's got that riding time over a minute. I believe it says a minute 11. Yeah, Escusa wrestled that sunny side. There's a single leg from Brenau.
He's got a cradle locked up with it. Interesting watching Escusa. He's got really good balance. You see how he was able to go ahead and, tough to take off of his feet. I mean, he's showing a lot in this match.
Escusa quickly back to the center. Yeah, made a couple of state finals at Sunnyside. Then he moved to Ames, competed at Gilbert, and was third as a junior, second as a senior. He's up by 2 with 50 seconds to go in this third period.
Hanging on a collar tie right there, 46 seconds left. It looks like Brenau's got to find a way to clear it off. He's got his left hand trying to get rid of that collar tie. Now he's going to try to walk off of it. Misdirection right there. Is able to get to a pretty good single leg. I like what Escusa's doing here, squaring up his hips. And see how he got a little 6-inch slide back a little bit further. A lot of guys will just try to bend over the top and look to scramble right there. Now he shuffles.
Looking to get to the body.
Yeah.
Going for a big throw. Neutralized by a whizzer for Escusa.
Did you see how Escusa was able to get his head up in that position? He didn't take his head down, even though the whizzer would have taken him that direction. Got himself up.
Riding time is locked up for the Cyclones, so Brenau needs a takedown to tie it, and it is not going to happen. With the running time points, we will have a 9-6 decision for Nando Escusa. Getting the call today for the Cyclones at 184. And Iowa State now leads it 21-9.
Nice win for Nando there.
Next up at 197, it is Tayshawn Glover for North Dakota State. And Christian Carroll is going to come out to some Tom Petty, Last Dance with Mary Jane.
Oh, yeah.
Came out in about 1993, 1994. Running Down a Dream, my favorite Tom Petty song. You got a favorite Tom Petty song?
Well, this would be one of them.
This
here.
Is good.
Indiana boys on an Indiana night. Come on.
Christian Carroll, 5-4, the redshirt freshman from Elkhart, Indiana. Began his career, of course, at Oklahoma State, wrestled at heavyweight last year. And Tayshawn Glover from Greensboro, North Carolina. State runner-up as a senior at Dudley High School.
These two dudes are built about the same. Big power. Short, stocky wrestlers. Here you see Carroll basically forcing that over and under tie there at the edge.
Oh, nice arm drag from Carroll. Right. That was slick.
And nice job of sagging his hips. He hasn't got the technique yet, but I like the effort there. Well, he did give it. He gave the takedown right there on the edge.
That was Keith Gavin-esque.
Yeah,
with
it really
arm
was.
Drag.
Yeah. Boy, he was good at that type of stuff.
One of the best I've ever seen with an arm drag. Keith Gavin, national champ from Pitt, now the head coach for the Panthers. Carroll this season 2-1 in duels, coming off a 3-3 record at the Cliff Keen.
Nice forward trip right there. That's the same technique he used to secure the arm drag when he went around behind. So he's got that feel of how to, bring a guy forward. Watch him right there. Really doesn't want to. Felt like he could get another takedown here with plenty of time left.
Christian Carroll, one of the top pound-for-pound recruits in the country. Won a couple Super 32 titles. Fargo Freestyle National Champion, 2023 U20 World Team member, 2022 U20 World Team as well. I believe that one was in Greco, as he's got an opportunity here on a single leg.
Nice
Should
job.
drive through and finish, but good defense from Glover.
So far, so good here for Glover, but he's doing a nice job of staying at the edge. Squaring back up.
Good hips.
I think Carroll will just ditch it here.
You've said that at times, it's just better to punt.
Yeah, I know that's a situation. You're going to milk a lot of clock. You let him go.
And it's tiring.
Yeah, let him go to get the takedown, and you're messing around with trying to finish. It's just better off just go off the mat, but not in a way that you're going to give your opponent a chance to circle back in and get on your ankles. I was looking at Carroll. I mean, comes to Iowa State his freshman year here, and he just seems like he's kind of one of those tweener guys. You could see him. He carries a lot of weight in the off season, it looks like, and could be that guy that could move up fairly comfortably here to the next weight.
Like what Bastida did.
Yeah, exactly. He could be in that category here, but with Bastida, he's been nursing a bad knee here for a while, and he does have a red shirt available to him. And you take a look at this weight class. Nice job by Carroll, just driving right through. Lets the pressure off. Glover did a nice job of sinking that.
Glover's done a really nice job, Jim, fighting these positions and just keeping himself in the match.
Yeah, squaring up at the right time and came in there with that right-handed underhook. But you take a look at Carroll. I think he'd be a guy that in a couple years that you'd see up at the next weight class.
So a 3-1 first period. This is the first dual meet for Glover, as the Cyclone will go on bottom. I mean, you look at this weight class too, Jim. Stephen Buchanan, Jacob Cardenas, Rocky Elam, AJ Ferrari, Stephen Little, the top 5. And look at this. Here is Glover with the takedown.
Again, just like before, instead of, giving up and conceding a takedown, he's just able to drive in that underhook, felt a little bit of weakness and caught Carroll off balance and drove right through there on it. Got a nice tight waist on it. And this is a position here now with a 4-4 score. Does Carroll have the movement underneath to be able to get that escape? And he's going to get called for stalling. And that's just, again, with that one of those visual calls. It doesn't look like you want to kind of go. And he's able to stay on top.
Building on his riding time. Still down at 15 seconds, but you see he's keeping the feet in.
Yeah, he is keeping a toe in. It's one of those situations where you might call a stalemate because they're just not moving, but just like that. Carlos Mansell, another good call. Not letting the guy just milk it out right there at the edge, and wants to see more. The fans and the guys in the seats want to see more action.
We'll see if Carroll's able to make any adjustments on this restart.
Gets on the right side.
Quick stand up and a quick escape. Carroll back out in front, 5-4, 50 seconds.
I tell you what.
Glover taking some territory.
Yeah, he is. He's got in on a shot again, all right. Crotch lift lock right there. And right now, Glover's in a great position. Neutral danger situation.
Got a 1 count. Gets another 1 count.
And Glover's doing a great job of keeping his balance. And see how his haunches, or basically his rear end, is over his ankle at the critical time. That makes it really tough here for, Carroll to basically roll through in this position. And with short time, the officials allowing him to go ahead and finishing out here on the edge.
Final seconds in the period. And he gets the takedown with literally 1 second left. So a couple of takedowns here for Tayshawn Glover. And he is up 7-5 going to the 3rd period.
Yeah, I think this is going to get looked at. Well, Kevin Drexler threatened to throw the brick out there, and Carlos Mansell basically waved him off on it.
If Glover is able to hang on and win this, I'm going to think about 2 or 3 positions he was able to fight off. Good attacks from Carroll where he didn't concede, kept fighting to see another day.
All in the first period.
It's an 8-5 match.
Carroll's come out of his stance a little bit right now. He doesn't really, you don't see the confidence that he, can he wrestle when he's tired right now in this situation? And now I think Glover is really feeling it right now. He's driving him off the edge of the mat, circles back in. And again, is Carroll going to be able to ditch it? The referee calls him off the mat. So 1:27 left here. I think both guys are a little bit winded, but I like Glover's actions and his ability to get to an angle right here. He's keeping good position. See how Carroll's coming out of his stance a little bit before he reaches.
And Glover has not been hit with stalling.
Well, I don't think there's enough activity right now to even make it a stall call. He drops down with it.
Snap from Carroll, posting on the head with his right hand. Glover clears the wrist. Just over 60 seconds. Half shot there from the Cyclone. Now they go ear to ear. Final minutes.
Does Carroll have the ability to create enough action? He's waved at that high crotch about 3 times.
Now looking for the underhooks. Glover has the underhook on the right side.
You notice how Glover is pushing in, but he's not pushing in too much.
Inside trip attempt.
He wanted to stay away from that inside trip. He could feel what Carroll was going to do there with the inside trip. Now they're stuck in this position right now, and this is all to Glover's advantage.
Down to 25 seconds.
Glover doing a great job at keeping his own balance, and now holding on below the elbow, all right?
keeping territory, center of the mat, right on that Wildcat logo. There's a stall call on Glover, the first.
You'll take that.
Absolutely he will. Can run for the hills with 5 seconds. And what a performance for Tayshawn Glover. 8-5. That is a huge win for Glover. He improves to 5-2 on the season. Big time win. How does the conversation begin with Christian Carroll if you are the Iowa State coaching staff?
I don't think this is a surprise to the Iowa State coaching staff. This guy that you know, maybe they already know what level of conditioning he has, and they're looking at it like, okay, you know, you finish one of those takedowns early in the first period while you're feeling pretty fresh, you don't have to worry about all that. But you know, yeah, I'm sure they're very concerned about the ability to finish a match in 7 minutes.
Is this some Rick Astley playing right now? Never gonna, right? Never gonna give you up, right?
I never knew the name of that guy or the group or whatever. Yeah,
we've talked about him on Flow Radio Live, which by the way, always make sure to listen to Flow Radio Live. Here we go at heavyweight. Daniel Herrera for the Cyclones. Andrew Blackburn Forst out of Lockport, Illinois, comes in with a record of 4-9 for North Dakota State's. Good counterattack there on the edge.
Right. You know what? And this is the guy that you don't want to go. You don't want to be trying to warm up your car in the parking lot when he's out there on the mat. This Herrera likes to put up points, and he's got good attacks to both sides, and he loves to force that underhook.
Goes to the body.
Yep, and he will go right here. Both guys very comfortable in the upper body tie right there.
Herrera is a true freshman, 8-3 on the season, 2-0 in dual meets with wins over Stanford and Navy. No surprise, Jim, as there's a stall call. Correction, no stall call.
Oh, they went off the mat.
Herrera, really good defensive lineman. Shocker. Put together.
Right now he's stealing inside ties. Right there, inside with the right, good reaction with his feet.
As you mentioned before, Jim, no younger Bastida, the 4th ranked heavyweight in the country according to the FloWrestling rankings. Herrera was 3-2 last weekend in Vegas. Snags a single leg from that underhook, and now Blackburn Forst tries to give him a ride.
Oh, Forst did a nice job. You can tell he's very comfortable going up top.
He's almost inviting it.
Yeah, he is. With that technique there, it almost looked like Herrera got his elbow caught with that. No, maybe bumped
injury
his head.
Time. So Blackburn Forst will have choice when action resumes. Blackburn Forst 4-9 this season. Last season he was at Northern Colorado.
I think they're going to head into the concussion protocol with Herrera. They're going to take him off. And
so with concussion protocol, there is no time limits. Here's another glance.
Oh, you can tell he just landed his forehead right there on the mat with all of his weight coming down on it. Great technique there by Forst. And we've seen where Herrera earlier in the season was able to go ahead and really force the upper body ties right there and kind of get to one side, but Forst was all about that.
Last time out, Blackburn Forst wrestling Gable Steveson, 18-3. He was Tech, joined the club, right?
No shame in that.
Heavyweights. Looking at the FloWrestling top 5 rankings at heavyweight, the aforementioned Gable Steveson, the reigning champion, Greg Kirkfleet of Penn State's, Wyatt Hendrickson now in that Oklahoma State singlets. Younger Bastida ranked 4th, and Isaac Trumbull back at North Carolina State. Those are the top 5 at heavyweight.
Good looking weight class. I mean, you mentioned, 97 and heavyweight are just going to be fun to watch at the Nationals. Of course, having Gable Steveson back, I mean, you have to, given the way he left the weight class, I think you have to, put him as a heavy favorite, even though you got Greg Kirkfleet, who's just got nothing but better as the returning national champ.
I've gotten about 80 text messages. People want to know about the popcorn and
yeah,
the hot dogs.
yeah. We're on it. We split a hot dog, all right?
It was fantastic.
The hot dog here, the dog to bun ratio was fantastic. The bun was fresh, all right?
There's nothing worse than getting some little hot dog with a monster bun that's been obviously
stale.
3 months old.
Yeah, right.
The hot dog here, and $3 at Dodger Stadium. That's a $21 hot dog. It was a
No doubt
bigger hot
about it,
dog here. This is a good sign here. Daniel Herrera comes running out of the locker room, so he clearly has
spring in his step.
Concussion guidelines, and he's back out inside the circle. No score.
I don't look for Herrera to basically look for anything from the waist and above. He's looking at his shots. You could tell his vision. He came back on the mat, and right there he's looking for a shot, coming back up. Now he goes into it.
But another throw there for Blackburn. Forrest.
Wow. Forrest is really comfortable those double overs.
You can tell he's just waiting. There is no panic. He's very confident in that position. I mean, you can tell both these guys, Jim, with these throws, home run hitters.
Well, he's going to force Herrera to stay on the leg. I think, he is going to the leg and coming up around the waist, and that's just exactly where Forrest wants him.
Blackburn Forrest from Lockport, Illinois. Lockport Township High School, same high school as Matt Ramos at Purdue.
Ooh, nice job of lowering his level. Here is
got
a
a
great
chance right here. He's got a
the
cradle locked up. He's going to roll him through. And Herrera's going to look for the pin.
Amazing job of getting that. He squares up here with it. He gets himself at least 2 back points.
Gets the takedown and 2 near fall in the final 20 seconds. Still 4 seconds showing on the clock.
Did he offer up 3 back points on that?
I believe it was the 2, the 3 the takedown, the 2 near fall.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, right.
Short time scoring.
How about that roll through on that cradle, though? You got the cradle locked up off of the front headlock position, and then basically, I'm talking about going for it right there.
Suicide cradle.
Yeah.
Love the courage. And he scored.
Yep. Whoa.
Maybe the mat return of the meet right there. Center of the mats. Hard mat return from Herrera. Herrera from Indio, California, won a couple of state titles at Palm Desert High School, and then came to Ames and won an Iowa State title. FloWrestling had him as the 9th ranked heavyweight in the country. Mentioned the accolades on the gridiron.
Well, what I see from him is just he's a wrestler, right? He go to both sides here, worked well off the front headlock position.
Cradle once again, Jim.
And he's going to take the risk right here. He's going to take him back.
He's got it rocked, and he's going to rock him back. The crowd wants the slap of the mats. Daniel Herrera looking to put this one on ice for the Cyclones.
Got to get that knee a little bit more in the ribs.
And there's the slap of the Resolites. Daniel Herrera, the 2nd pin for the Cyclones. He joins Cody Chittum, who got the pin at 157.
This young guy is quickly becoming a crowd favorite here. We're going to get to see a lot of him through the course of the year for the Cyclones here with Bastida being out. But the way he goes out there and attacks at all levels and not just trying to go ahead and, there's no caution with this guy. And the element of surprise is able to hit these guys with. That could have been a very, very close match. And the next one may be very close, all right? And he gets the opportunity to wrestle him again.
I like the courage. Couple of cradles. He went for it, as you said. And he was rewarded as he gets the slap of the mats and ends this dual meet with the 2nd pin for Iowa State's. Iowa State's now 1-0 in the Big 12. The Cyclones 2-2 on the season as North Dakota State falls to 0-4. Final score, Iowa State 27, and North Dakota State's 12th. For our production crew alongside Jim Gibbons, I'm Shane Sparks saying good afternoon from Humboldt, Iowa.